Hi, welcome to Salt and Burn This. I'm Sami.
And I'm Valerie.
And this is our Supernatural Rewatch podcast.
Each week, we're going to break down an episode in order with lots of details, so nothing's left out.
And we throw in some personal nuggets and stories and research to mix it up just a little bit.
Because not only are we fans of the show, but like Sam and Dean, we've also had our fill of road trips.
Yeah, but for theater, not for hunting ghosts and demons.
And not in a super sexy muscle car.
Anyway, shall we?
We shall.
So I'm a couple weeks late in this, but I saw Barbie.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it great?
It's so good.
I'm so excited.
Did not know what to expect. It was just like a random, like off the cuff thing. Like Jake and I were like, oh, we both had Thursday off. Are we going to see Barbie? Yeah, I guess we are. So we did.
Awesome. I heard it's really fun and it's really good.
It exceeded my expectations now, and it didn't really have many to begin with. I was just like, oh, this will kind of be fun.
Barbie, yeah.
It was so fun, but it also made me cry a little bit. And It was so good. I'm very enthralled with this director now.
Good.
And I liked her Little Women also when I saw that a couple years ago. So
that's the same director.
Yes, Greta Gerwig.
God, yeah. I loved Little Women. I loved that adaptation of it. It was really good. Well, hooray!
Ryan Gosling. Oh my God. Stole the show a little bit.
I heard he like has a song that like made it to the charts.
Yeah.
Like the Ken song.
Ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I love it. All right. Well, don't tell me anything about it because I do want to see it.
I
do want to see it. Okay.
But you will enjoy it. Okay, so I'm just going to warn you that when I was doing the due diligence for this episode, this is like the bare minimum because I was either in a fugue state due to my health or I was at work. So it's literally like
sneaky.
The boys are in the motel room. Mom is back, but it's not mom. It's very to the point. I have like my commentary, that I want to add in and a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. But so maybe I'll just say like, this is where they are, and then you can fill in from there.
Take it away, Valerie.
Yes.
No problem.
Sorry. Not that I did. I mean, I watched the episode like 4 times, so I do feel pretty familiar with it. But
right, it's just hard when you don't have your notes.
I was just like so not in focus. I was like, I don't want to do this. I can't concentrate. I'm just gonna watch it.
Yeah. No worries. I think I have enough to add to what you have. Yeah. I didn't go completely overboard on this one.
Good. Maybe it'll be short.
Yeah. Sorry. What our listeners are thinking. Maybe this one's a short one.
Season 4, episode 19, Jump the Shark. Meet the Winchester boys, Dean, Sam, and Adam. The Winchesters discover they have a younger half-brother whose mother vanishes just as a long-dormant grave robber renews his ghoulish career. Written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin, and directed by Phil Screecha.
I'm so glad that I don't have those when I sit down to do my notes and watch Supernatural. Because there's such a spoiler. They're not just like a teaser. They literally just told you the entire show.
Yeah.
All right. So Jump the Shark. I don't know if everybody nowadays knows what that reference is. I know it's just a colloquialism, that people just assume is a thing if they don't know what it means.
Yeah. What's funny is shortly before, like maybe a month ago, there was like 3 things that happened in succession with each other that told the story about the origin of this. Like, I just happened to be listening to another podcast where
Really?
Jump the Shark came up, and they're like, do you know where this came from?
Oh my gosh. And
I
you're
think
like,
I
"Yes,
read an
now I know."
article about it, and like in my research. So it's like, I didn't know what it was before, a month ago.
Just recently. Oh,
But
okay.
I did know it before I watched this episode. So it
Gotcha.
was like a
Okay.
weird kind of, weird.
Well, I was around. I won't tell you how
Mhm.
old I was, but I was around when the Happy Days episode
Mhm.
that this is referencing was on television. So I watched Fonzie jump the shark.
Wow.
It didn't, it became part of our language, later. Later.
It was I read
in
it
the
was
vernacular.
a radio guy. Like, a radio guy was talking about the episode, and he kind of turned it into a term to mean the show has
Done.
gone off the rails.
Yeah. They're
You've ran out
really
of
reaching.
ideas.
Yes, exactly.
It's only downhill from here.
Yeah. So, I mean, just real quick, Fonzie, of course, is like one of the coolest characters ever written. He was the thumbs up A guy, leather jacket, motorcycle wearing guy. He got all the chicks. And literally, this episode had him wearing a leather jacket, little white ski, bathing trunks, and one of those. In water skiing, you don't wear like a full vest. You would wear like a little donut around your waist for a life vest, like a flat donut around your waist so that you had more mobility.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So Fonzie's literally water skiing in a leather jacket with a little donut around his waist, and he's going to jump over a shark tank, in a lake. And it's like, dun, 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 will he do it? And it's like, he goes off the jump, and that's where they like freeze frame. He was like, will he or won't he? Really bad. So he made it, by the way. But yeah, so that's where Jump the Shark comes from. And what's funny is, so he makes fun, Henry Winkler, who is Fonzie, makes fun of himself all the time about that.
Yes.
What was that? Arrested Development. I think he played a lawyer. I think he played one of the guys' lawyer or the mom's lawyer or something like that. But there was one episode, one of the brothers gets bitten by a shark and loses his hand to a shark. And Fonzie literally steps over him. He's like, jump the shark. But anyway, so that's Jump the Shark. So I thought what was interesting about this episode, though, is that Kripke, as they're either writing it or brainstorming it, they're like, this is our Jump the Shark episode. And he wanted to get out front of the fan base. So they called it Jump the Shark. And so because they were already planning on it being a Jump the Shark episode, they incorporated little, nuggets of Jump the Shark in the episode.
Yeah.
And my question is, did they really have to do that? Like, just because they added a character, like, just like, and Kripke references The Cosby Show when Raven Simone's character was added. Anytime you have a family unit or an ensemble unit and you suddenly add another character to spice things up, that's considered jumping the shark because you can't go any further with the characters that you have. So you have to add another one. And I was like, I don't think that was necessarily the case here. I don't think what they did by adding a character it was not a jumping the shark moment for me. I mean, I hated it. It definitely gave me, added tension and drama to my watching of the episode.
Yeah. So now, having seen the series, more than once, a few times, I have become accustomed to this idea. But when I first saw this, I resisted it. I did not like it.
Right.
And I thought they were kidding. And I said, surely by the end of it, it's going to be a trick of mine. It's a djinn, or it's something to say like, oh, just kidding, this isn't real.
It
then
added so much tension. Yeah.
That didn't happen. And then it didn't happen in the next episode or the next one. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
I can't handle this because here I'm going to get into this now before we even start the episode. In many ways, I thrive off of change and going out of my comfort zone. For instance, getting in a car and moving across country was zero plan, you know?
Oh, that's.
Or, you know, like learning new things like, I'm going to take up figure skating today, you know, just stupid little things like that. But I make up for it in really rigid comfort zones in media, especially. Like I have a small cycle of TV shows, movies, music, even podcasts that I just watch and ingest over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because committing to like a new set of characters and new storylines and a new style of writing is just like, I don't want to do that.
Right. And getting started on something new is really.
Yes. But then within a show that I really like, if they change something, I'm really, really resistant to it. Even when I was younger, when I was watching cartoons, if the artwork style changed.
Oh, yes.
Did not like that. I don't like it. Bit.
Nope. Same thing like with comic strips. If you start to see the evolution of a character, like the artist is getting like starting to change different. It's like, nope. Go back to the original.
Keep it. If a voice changes, like Rugrats was big with that, and so was Hey Arnold, two shows that I'm sure you didn't watch, but like they both did this. It was like the first couple of seasons, you know, it was really scrappy animation because they were just getting started, and I'm sure once they realized, oh, this is a popular show, we have more of a budget, we'll change it.
It'd take a little bit more time. Yeah.
And it was nice. I liked that animation style. It was kind of smudgy. It was kind of like relaxed. There was something about it that was really comforting. And then after several seasons or years of that, then it changed again and it just got too animated, or I can't quite put a thumb on it exactly, but
right. It's like they added frames. Like,
I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this. So when they added this character, and even though he's, you know, his story is done by the end of this episode, so it's not like he's and they did that on purpose. Kripke even was like, I like the idea of adding a third brother, but he can't continue. Like, it's got to start and end in this episode. Because you cannot just wonder if like, oh, is he going to jump in the backseat of the Impala and like go on their adventures?
Yeah. No.
And I would not have been able to handle that. I don't know if I don't think the fan base could have.
They're just too possessive of Sam and Dean, which is great. So interesting that they decided to go that route, though. Like right now in the series, when it's like it wasn't necessary.
It wasn't.
And it's like we were so into the plot as it was. You know, let us finish this plot line, please.
I know. With that. Let's go into the recap, which is basically, oh, hey, Dad, and Sammy's got a problem. I think you can sum up the recap in that.
Yeah. So now, there's a woman being chased by something or someone in her house.
Mm-hmm.
She's running down some very long and very dark hallways. I want to know who owns these homes.
I know.
And she manages to get away long enough to shut herself in a bedroom, moves a dresser or an armoire or something in front of the door, and is like, phew, I'm safe. And sits on the bed and is like, okay, what's going on? Which is always a mistake. If you're going to sit on the bed, you have to cross your feet, bring your feet up onto the bed, which she didn't do. Because, of course, whatever was chasing her is now under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It grabs her feet that are dangling down, and she is dragged away under the bed, screaming and clawing the floor. And as that happens, she knocks the bedside table, and a picture frame falls off the bedside table, and it's a picture of John Winchester.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah. what you doing? Someone's got your picture in their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. I did like I call it the scary POV where there was the camera was under the bed as the monster like getting closer and closer to her feet.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. I hate it, but I love it because it's like,
Yes.
your damn feet.
Yeah. I have to give
which
a
she didn't do.
big round of applause to Phil Screecha, to his direction in this episode. There were so many times that I was like, ooh, I love this.
Yeah. Even, I mean, this was a scary monster episode. Like there was a scary monster that until a certain point we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And so there was the like scary monster music, or not even music, but just like sounds, like that deep hum that starts happening anytime like the monster is near or something is about to happen. There's like this deep hum, and then the scary music comes in. I'm gesturing with my hands, like you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, this was a good like standalone scary monster episode.
Yes,
I thought.
Absolutely. Okay, so when we come back from the splash, the boys have spent the night in the car. They're far away from civilization anywhere.
2 hours from anywhere.
Yes, Dean is grumpy. He's hungry. He's
yeah. Well, and of course, Sam's been awake for a while. He's like dressed, he's brushing his teeth. He doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that it's, early and there's no food. They're, of course, by a beautiful lake, which I was like, hello, wish you were here. Telephone rings in the glove box, which I have to say, those flip phones must have really good battery lives that I don't remember.
Yeah, they did. But also, what a job it is to just keep them charged all the time.
Yeah, next to your gun in the glove box.
Yeah.
He pulls out a phone. It turns out it's John's phone that's ringing. It's not one of theirs. And Dean answers it, and somebody's asking for John. Someone's looking for John. And Dean, being grumpy and tired, is like, John's not here. What do you need? And the person's like, I really need to talk to John. Oh, well, too bad he's dead. He died 2 years ago. And it's like, oh, wow, nicely said. And the voice on the other end of the phone is like, oh, well, I'm his son.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, question mark. So the next thing we see is Sam and Dean are currently, because of Chiron, they've driven to Windham, Minnesota, which does not sound warm. It does exist. It is a real town. I thought it was Wisdom. Like my eyes, I wasn't focused, and I looked up Wisdom, which also exists.
Oh, great.
Yeah. They pull into this diner, and here's like the biggest call out that Kripke did in this episode for Jump the Shark, which is the name of the building. The name of the diner is Cousin Oliver's Diner. And Cousin Oliver was the character that was added into the Brady Bunch a million years down the road to like spice things up.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
so Cousin
was...
Oliver comes to visit.
Stand by.
Yeah. Which is why the font and the look of the diners, like the words of the diner, were in the Brady Bunch font. Like the Brady Bunch.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of a different structure in this episode, but
okay,
that's kind of funny.
That was the big call out. I was like, I get it. I get it, Cousin Oliver. Oh boy, Brady Bunch.
Very funny. Okay, so the boys go into the diner. They're prepping to meet this Adam guy. Dean is all business. Like, he is not kidding around, and he is seeing red. Yeah.
He's like, he loaded up with weapons and salt and holy water to go into this diner. He like locked and loaded to go sit at this diner.
Now, fair, because I probably, if I were in this profession, I would have done the same thing had I gotten a call from somebody who claimed to be my father's, other son, mysterious son.
Right. So, I mean, so Dean is on the path that it's was it a changeling? No, a shapeshifter.
Anything. Yeah. He puts holy water in the glass just in case it's a demon. He puts silverware out, like replacing the, stainless steel dinerware just in case it's a shapeshifter.
And then he has the gun as a backup just in case It's
He pulls
something
a
else.
chair like off to the side to him, which I didn't understand, like as a weapon. I don't know what that was for. It's like the minute he walks into the diner, he grabs a chair from another table and like drags it to him and puts it next to him against the wall. And I wasn't sure why if that's like a tactic that I'm not aware of. But
I didn't even notice that. I just saw him being all frumpy and like, I mean, all grumpy
yes,
and like
like
just
not
slamming
interested
things
in
around.
food, not interested in the cute waitress. He is like,
Waitress.
that's how you know it's serious. He's
Right?
like,
Yeah.
Sam's pretty level-headed. He's like, yeah, you know what? This could
He's
be
like-
plausible because this guy checks out. You know, all my research says like, you know, he's just like kind of a regular kid. He's pre-med.
Yep.
Dad was not a saint. He
Right?
was in Minnesota 9
And the
months before
dates
this kid
line
was
up.
born.
That
There's
wasn't a
pages ripped out
month.
of the journal.
Right. What did he say? Maybe so
One slip past the
Dad,
goalie.
we slipped one past the goalie, and Dean's like, okay, I can't unsee this now. I was like, that was actually pretty funny just to see
Yes.
like Dean snap at it for just a second, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Woo.
So,
Okay, so next this mopey guy comes in, meets up with them. He's Adam, sits down.
he's a pretty close mix of like the
He
look
is.
of Sam and Dean, like
Yeah.
totally could have been a brother, I would say. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but
they did.
They did it okay. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good mix. And the fact that he was like on the brainy side, so he was like on the Sam side, pre-med. But Dean is like totally cold to this guy, and in Sam's kind of bedside Sam.
Yeah.
Adam was asking, how did you know Dad? And Dean's like, yeah, we worked with him. Oh, what do you do? Mechanics. How did he die? On the job. He was a mechanic. Car fell on him. I'm like, oh,
yes.
Jesus, Dean. I mean, funny, but wow, cold.
I know.
So Dean has set up 3 traps for Adam. Well, 2 basically. First one's the holy water, which Adam drinks. Not a problem.
No issues.
Yep. Orders some food and goes to use the silverware to eat. No problem. Dean, for some reason, decides to uncock his gun and put it away. So I think he's passed the monster test.
Yeah, or at least like the big monster test. So it's now okay, let's...
All right, what's going on here?
Yeah. He's maybe just like a human. Because then Adam, he approaches them because, or he called John because his mom is missing and has been missing for a while. And then he starts talking about his relationship with him, like how him and his mom met, like when he found out that he had a son, man, he drove all night, to come meet me. He was really there for me.
He was a cool dad, even though I was 12 when I finally got to meet him.
Yeah, he's like describing a mostly normal father and son relationship, even though he's a little like, well, it's not exactly the nuclear family. And
Sam and Dean are like, yeah, whatever. Tell us about it.
Right. And you know what? I really felt for Dean in this because he's just, you could see it on his face, how pained he is to hear how normal John was. So much so he's like, nope, don't believe you. What the hell are you doing? What's going on? We're his sons, not you. We're out of here. Can't hear this anymore.
Yeah. But then Adam's like, okay, I can prove it to you. You don't believe me. You don't believe what I'm saying. I can prove it to you. So he takes them to his house where there are pictures of John in the house.
A plethora of family photos.
Family photos with him and the mom and him and John at a baseball game. And Dean, that's like the end of it for Dean. He's like, he took you to a baseball game?
Yeah.
Baseball for your birthday? And Adam's like, yeah, what do you do for your birthday?
He doesn't even, he's like,
yeah.
It's like he can't even speak, and it's like he passes it off to Sam. Like he just looks at Sam as like, you gotta take over this because I can't. I cannot.
Yep. I'm going to punch him in the head.
Yep. Yeah. So Sam, being Sam, he changes his subject. It's like, okay, let's talk about the case. how long has your mom been missing? What happened? What are the circumstances? She's been missing for a while. The cops couldn't find anything. You know, this is unlike her. She would not have just disappeared without telling anybody. Adam feels guilty. So
Sam, being the researcher, in the meantime, Dean is looking around the house for clues, and so far isn't finding anything. And Adam's like, "What are you going to find that the cops didn't?" You know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Dean's like,
mechanic.
"Yeah, maybe a mechanic." Is like, "Yeah, okay." So Sam comes back and he has some information. One, that the cops didn't find anything and have no information, but he was able to find a newspaper clipping
Mhm.
from when the times where there's a whole bunch of bodies that had been, body snatched out of the graves. Isn't that what that's
Yeah, some
called?
grave
Body
robbers.
snatched?
It was
Grave
a
robbers.
grave robbery from 1990,
Right. Which
in
is
which,
when John was in town and
yes,
is in the background of one of these
yeah,
photos. Literally, I mean, it was
yeah,
like,
just doop.
so they're like, all right, a coincidence that John was in town looking for body snatchers, grave robbers, and now Adam's around. Now Adam's born.
But
So while
also,
the
it's
yeah,
happening again. So it's like, oh, there was this
there's
grave robbery case. Nothing happened until recently, where it's been happening again. And there's this other missing guy, you know, this bartender named Tom or
Joe
whatever.
Joe
Joe, you're right.
Barton. Yeah.
Joe. So, okay, here's some clues, but Adam doesn't know who this bartender is. So there's no connection there. However,
Right.
Dean does see some fingernail scratches on the floor underneath the bed. And
Yep.
underneath the mattress is a vent.
Yeah.
So
There was a great rock, paper, scissors moment there to
loved it. And it was like without words even. It was just immediately boom.
boop, boop, boop. Dean loses. He's the one who has to crawl through the vent. I just love it. He's like, every time. And there was this great little quick look by Sam, who's like, yep, every time. He uses scissors every time.
And this is only the second time they've done it. Is that right?
I think so. That we've
in the
seen.
show. Yeah.
Yep.
That the camera has caught.
So Dean is in the vent. Dean goes into the vent. There's a little bit of blood at the entrance of the vent. Otherwise, it's kind of a clean vent. But around the corner, not so clean.
Yeah.
Lots of blood, tissue, hair, maybe bits of bone. I couldn't really see, but there's a lot. There's definitely
evidence that something gruesome happened.
There's some carnage. Yep. So that's how that scene ends. So now Sam and Dean are in a motel. And Dean is deep cleaning a shotgun. Again, he is not backing down. I don't know why there was this camera cut to one of the, their motels always have their little table tents on the tables. This one was an advertisement for the lounge at the motel called Sonny Buono's Lounge. And I was like, was that a shout out to Sonny Bono?
Was there a photo on the?
There was, and it was like,
okay, so I think I know what that might have been. Okay. Kim Manners died like a month before they filmed this, so they named the motel Kelsey Manor, KM. And okay. KM is all over the place, and somewhere there is a picture of Kim in the motel. So if it was a picture of a person, then maybe it was him. If not, then I don't know why it was Sonny Bono, but
well, yeah, okay.
Maybe Kim Manners really liked Sonny Bono.
Sonny Bono, okay. Okay, because it was a guy with short kind of afro-y hair with a cheesy mustache, cheesy 80s mustache.
Well, maybe it was him.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll have to go back and look again. I'm glad you caught the name of the motel because I couldn't read it. So I was like, I hope Sammy caught that one. So that's nice. So Dean, Dean is cleaning his shotgun. This motel, the room dividers are like canoe paddles and buoys, little boat buoys, little freshwater buoys, super cute. There's a giant painting of a lake in the room. It's like one of the walls is like painted as a lake, which I thought was kind of funny. Adam has figured out that they are actually not mechanics.
Yes. Doesn't know what they are, but they're something because now his house is a crime scene. They just disappeared before the cops came.
The cops get there. Yeah.
He's just like, what is happening? Like all of a sudden everything is turned upside down. Who are you? What's going on?
Yep. Dean doesn't want to
So
say. Dean's
he
just like,
doesn't.
nope. He's like, whatever. Sam, however, starts to tell and gives Adam the truth is out there speech, even though
Yes.
Dean is like, don't, you know. So, and Adam buys it pretty easily.
Yeah.
He literally is like, oh, so, the ghosts are real, and what did Dean say? Yeah, but Godzilla's not, or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, he kind of accepts it pretty easily. And Dean is like kind of tipped off, like,
You're like,
what do you
wait just
mean?
a minute.
Yeah, what do you
Everyone
mean,
fights us on
okay?
this.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I liked about Dean's shift here, though, is that it's not that he doesn't want to say because he's mad at Adam. He didn't want to tell him because he wanted to protect Adam. If
Yeah.
John went so far as to keep Adam's secret from his family, from Dean and Sam, then he obviously didn't want to bring him into the hunting life.
Yeah.
And so Dean was ready to just wash his hands of this town and go. Leave Adam alone.
Yeah.
Don't drag him into this hunter lifestyle.
Yeah.
Sam, however, is now like, I think it would be good to teach him some, be good to have another hunter out there on this case.
Yeah, or at least protect himself or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it was very reminiscent, and I thought maybe it was due to Dean having done his little time travel trip and talking with young Mary and how she's like, I do not want my sons to be in this life. That's like the one wish that I have. I mean, John never knew about it. So now Dean is like, we can at least grant this wish
for Dad.
To a Winchester.
Right. Our lives suck. Let's not, I've been to hell and back, literally. Let's not do this to this kid who, clearly just has a normal life.
Yeah.
Except for his mother missing and being torn to pieces potentially.
Yes. Dean leaves. He's like, nope, I'm going to find this thing and I'm just going to kill him. And then that's going to be that.
Yep. And Sam teaches Adam about guns.
Yes.
So Sam goes off and does his, even though Dean didn't want it, Sam's like, I'm going to teach you how to use a gun and defend yourself. At the cemetery, which is where Dean has headed off to, he's exploring the crypt that had been broken into where at least one of the bodies was stolen.
And not just stolen, but cut open. Because he finds a trail of embalming fluid against one of the caskets.
Yeah, and the crypt keeper, or whatever this guy's name is, rather jovial for someone with that job.
They always are. Like in TV, if it's the morgue guy or the crypt guy, they're always just a little too happy to be there.
Yeah, he's like, even as Dean, he's like, so have you decided where you're going to want to spend eternity? And Dean's like, think about it every damn day. But and Dean's alias, because he is a federal agent with this guy, which is how he got permission to go into this crime scene crypt, is Agent Nugent.
Yes, that's right. Nugent.
Kind of a throw off. But so far, there are now 3 bodies missing. So the newspaper, Sam came back with information that 2 bodies are missing. Now there's 3 bodies missing, and they were all opened up first.
Is that what the guy said? Is like, now this is the newest one that happened? Okay.
Yeah. Clues. They're giving us all clues.
Many clues. And his next clue he finds at a bar.
Shocking.
Yes. He sits down. The lady bartender gives the Law and Order guy a free beer. All Law and Orders get free beer. He learns that she's the wife of the missing guy that he's looking for.
Joe the bartender.
Yeah, Joe the bartender. But Joe the bartender was also Joe the cop. And that he was on that case, the grave robber case from 1990. Earned awards for it even. And had help from a quote-unquote specialist who helped him quote-unquote take care of it.
Take care of what done it. Yeah. I was like, oh, interesting. What done it? Not who done it. What done it?
What done it?
Yep. Back at the motel, Adam and Sam are now working on guns. And the lights go out. Now they don't glitch and go out. They just go out like someone has cut the line, which I was like, okay. And now there's like some thumping around, and Sam's like, "Oh God, it's in the walls. Someone's in the walls. So we need to get out."
Yeah. This was a moment that I was really like loving the cinematography and the color grading. Because when he stands up and I think he bursts open either the bathroom or a closet, and it's like blue, but the camera's inside of whatever room that is, and you just see Sam like pointing the gun in the corners.
Yes.
I don't know. I just really liked it.
It sees him, but Sam doesn't see it. Yeah. But since they can't, they have nowhere to go, and it's in the walls or it's in the vent in the walls. Sam's like, out. We got to get out. So they run outside, which I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart. Instead of kicking in more doors in the motel room and looking for this thing or waiting for it to like pop out on them.
Yes.
Outside.
Let's just go while shooting at
it. Right. And they run to Adam's car, which I thought was cool. They did this cool like key toss while they're running so that Adam's not going to drive his own truck. Sam's going to drive it. So they do this toss, and as Adam runs around the back of the truck to get in the passenger side, Sam is on the driver's side and gets grabbed by this thing from under the car.
Yeah, so he gets grabbed just like Kate got grabbed.
Like,
the mom.
Is that her name? The mom?
Yes.
And it slams him to the ground and is now dragging him under the car, and he can't break loose. He can't break loose from this thing. Yes. Adam runs around back to try to help Sam, but is unable to, he's not strong enough to pull Sam out.
Dun, 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 dun. Dean to the rescue, just in time.
Impala screech. Yep. And they help him up, and then they grab the shotgun and shoot under the car, like, we'll get this thing. And they don't. They winged it because there's, they moved the truck out of the way, and what do you know? There's a storm drain there or a manhole cover or something.
Yeah, some splashes of blood. So he did nick it with the gun, but they're not even going to try to go after it because it's like a maze, and it knows that area better than they could. So like, nope, let's regroup.
They've chased monsters into the sewers before.
Yes.
So
after all of this, after what Dean learned and what Sam has experienced, they've come to the conclusion, okay, this monster is out to get very specific people because it wants revenge. It went after the bartender who was the one that caught dealt with the case before. It's after his mom, and it's after Adam. So they're all related somehow.
Right.
Probably because it's related to John, because John helped with the case. So it wants revenge because there's this nice little moment in the motel. Well, nice. Where Adam asks Sam, how did he really die? It was a demon, but we got revenge, but revenge is never over. Little lines that get called back later, but
right. Revenge is a big factor in this episode.
Yes, lots and lots. That's the theme. They're back at Adam's house. Dean wants to bail. He's like, nope, we gotta leave. Sam, though, is like, no, we gotta stay and fight. This has been like recurring fight that they have had in the past couple of episodes. Usually it's with Lilith, but now it's with this
thing.
Mystery monster.
Yeah, so Sam seems to be is all gung-ho, like, wanting to charge straight forward. And Dean's like, no, that's not what we're doing. We don't need to do this. It doesn't need to be us who does this.
Yeah, we don't need to use the kid as bait. That's just too harsh.
Right.
But
which is
Adam volunteers.
He's like, I'll do it. If it killed my mom and it's coming after us, I'll do it. Cue the gun training montage of, teaching Adam how to shoot. So Sam is giving Adam shooting lessons while Dean looks on, I don't want to say begrudgingly, but he's not happy about this. He's not happy about the situation.
No, because Sam is giving this weird speech, which is basically like hunting is life. You now have no friends, you have no job, you have no prospects, you have no ambitions. This is all you have. Yeah,
which is exactly what John said to Sam when he left.
Yeah, to make him leave. Like, that's what made him leave. He was like, fuck this. I'm going to go be a lawyer.
I want to go to school. And Dean calls Sam out on that. He's like, this is exactly what Dad did to you, and now you're doing it to Adam.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, what? I'm just being honest. This is what it is. If he's going to be a hunter, And Dean's like, no, this isn't what we're doing.
Yeah. He's like, it's too late for us, but Adam still has a chance. He's young enough, he's not in it yet. We can put a stop to this, and he can go be a doctor, because he should go be a doctor. We don't want him to be in this.
Yeah. So,
and it's weird because like Sam is now team dad, which is a 180 from what he was doing before.
Right.
He's really cold, and he's cold. It's like he's like an army ranger or something. It was hard. I couldn't quite describe how I felt about him making this little speech. It was just very not Sam-like.
Yeah. It was like, it could have been Dean-like, but it still wouldn't have been Dean.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, and you know what? Even Dean saying like, no, he gets a chance at a normal life. That didn't feel very Dean-like to me either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was a little confused. But then if I thought about it, I was like, maybe his development is now turning into this.
Yeah, I think Dean's probably still a little gun shy after the beating that he took from Alistair. He still doesn't feel fully recovered from that experience. And I don't know, not just the beating, but that whole, the hell and Alistair and being used by the angels. He said, I don't think I'm the guy for this. And we haven't seen him fully come back yet. And I think maybe this is just a touch of him still being, I don't want to say gun shy for himself.
PTSD.
But gun shy for not PTSD. Wanting to put somebody else through what he's experienced.
Yeah. It's also interesting to note that they're both jealous of Adam for different reasons, almost. Yeah. Because they both pointed out, it's like, you're jealous of him. No, you are. Sam is saying, what makes him so special? Why should he get to escape this life? Mm-hmm. Whereas Dean, he doesn't ever say this in the episode, but I think he's like, I'm jealous of the life that he did get to lead with Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baseball
we
games
saw that.
And fishing and.
Yeah. So
now they want to take different approaches again, right? Dean is like, nope. Before, I'm not going to let Adam do this. I'm just going to go find this thing and kill it myself.
Yep. So drives off back to the crypt.
Yes, to look even deeper. And this is the music I think you were talking about. I really like this music. It was very suspenseful.
Yeah, without hitting you over the head.
While he's in the crypt, he notices a brick that obviously doesn't belong. To me, it looked very much like when you're playing a video game and like you're looking for like the secret treasure room, and it's like some kind of animation doesn't quite line up with the rest of it.
You're like, there it is. Yeah, it was like a brick that didn't have any mortar around it. It was it was pretty obvious what it was. And he's like, huh. Even Dean is like,
So again, he's crawling through a small space tunnel.
And he ends up in another crypt.
Yeah.
Like there's more coffins, but this time there's like scattered bones on the ground.
Yeah, it was very Indiana Jones like Last Crusade type of feel to me.
Right. And he trips over because he doesn't have, a lot of light. He trips over body parts and like slides in blood. And he's like, oh. And he finds a pair of glasses, which are the exact pair of glasses that Joe the bartender was wearing in his photos.
Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe. I was like, oh, there's Dean.
Oh, no.
There's Dean.
I loved that shot, though. I love the shot from like up in the corner where he's in this room. I don't know. The blood just looks so bright red against all of like the dark gray and the blue.
Dark gray. Yep. Yeah, it was really cool. And he was very alone in that moment.
Yeah.
He's clearly found the dumping / feeding grounds of whatever is stealing these bodies.
Yes.
But he hears a scraping sound as he's like, investigating the body parts. He hears a scraping sound and he runs back to the tunnel he just came down and shoots down the tunnel and realizes that somebody is pushing that block back into place. So trapping him in the tunnel.
Well,
and he's like
that first. He sees first the brick being put back into place, and then he starts shooting, which then makes like the tunnel walls collapse around him. So it's like you just made the situation. You could have just crawled back down there and pushed the brick out.
Pushed the brick out, Right.
Like, you would have been fine. They would not have mortared you in. And if they could have mortared you in, it would not have been dry enough.
Right.
You know,
There was a
to,
caulking gun.
Yes.
I think he was just trying to shoot at the person.
I know he was, but it was like,
he
fucked himself.
He did it himself. Absolutely. So he's now trapped in the dining hall.
Yeah, we get 2 sons of bitches.
Right, son of a bitch. The second one is because he pulls out his cell phone.
Yeah.
And shocker of shocker, there's no signal. But I love that everybody does this. He holds up the phone as if he's going to find a signal higher up. I'm like, God, I miss those days where people would just walk around with their hands up looking for a signel.
Yep.
And hoping that, like, once you caught it, that it stayed in your phone while you brought it down to
Yes,
dial.
exactly.
So back at the house.
Sam and Adam have barricaded every entrance, every crack, except for one vent and maybe one door. Because
as it turns out, one door. Because he's like salted everything. He's like hammered or nailed shut like vents and doors. And he's like, nothing's getting in. And then you hear this,
hello?
Hello? Adam's like, really? Really?
Yeah.
But so Adam goes, of course, running out of the salt, runs down the stairs to the voice of his mother. And there she is standing in the doorway and saying, I escaped. I was able to get away. And here I am.
Yeah.
And Adam goes running into her arms. Sam comes running up behind. He's like, get away. What are you doing? No.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not your mother. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, like there was too much like blood and guts in the vent for her to be alive. That was like no. There's no way that she can be alive.
Right. So, this is not your mother. Yeah,
yes, it's a monster. Get away. Adam, in like a fit of panic, grabs the gun from Sam.
Away from Sam. I'm like, Sam, come on.
I know. It's like, what are you doing?
Play the game.
Yeah, he's just like, no, shoot her. She's not real. And he does the like, which one do I shoot? Which one do I shoot?
Yeah, my sister, my mother. And Sam's like, she's not your mother. She's a monster. And Adam stops and goes, I know. And then cold cocks Sam like with the butt of the shotgun just right up under the jaw, just wham, and knocks him out. So
a nice little twisty twist.
Yep.
I thought in the crypt, Dean is, since he's stuck there, looking around for more clues.
Looking for a way out.
And looking for a way out, but is also kind of stumbling across new clues, I should say. He finds like old bones on the ground, decides to look inside the casket, and there is Mom, dead and torn up.
Freshly dead.
Looks around for more caskets, opens it up, and sees Adam. All like torn apart.
Yep. Same condition.
Yes.
Eyes open, somewhat surprised.
Yeah.
But clearly long dead.
Okay. This took me up until I saw it this last time. Oh, the monsters took out the old corpses and put the new corpses in there. This whole time, these so many years, I thought that they had died. That Adam and his mom had died, and they were feasting on, like, they had a funeral and everything like that. Like, died of a natural cause kind of thing. Because I must have not paid attention to, this monologue that's coming up. Or just, like, blanked it out of my mind. But forever, I thought, they had
somehow died.
They killed them, they had a funeral and everything, and then they ate their corpse after the funeral. It wasn't until now, it was like, they were just hiding them in the casket. They just tore out like all of the old bones and then put them in there.
Mm-hmm. That's why all the bones were on the floor.
Well, I know that now. Thank you.
Feasting.
Okay. Here is my other personal commentary note. This whole episode was very, for me, Jaws-like. Because the music, you don't see the monster until like towards the end of the episode. I mean, I guess you see him, but you don't realize that it's the monster.
It's the thing under the bed. It's the thing that grabs you when you're not looking. Even
the music is a little Jaws-like, the little tense, like it's not Dana, dana, dana,
Right.
but it's
But
low,
it's
it's
that low
bassy,
rumble. Yep.
it's minimal notes, it's
It's
not that
menacing.
complicated.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
thought for me, this was Jump the Shark in a couple different ways, It's very sharky.
Yeah. I see. See, jump the shark usually is very negative connotation. That's why I have a hard time with it. Because they ran out of ideas, but they
Yeah.
didn't. This is not
No,
anyway.
no, they're making fun of themselves, but
Yes. Sam wakes up tied to a table with the mom like humming and picking her fingernails with a knife, which is very nonchalant. You know,
mhm,
you monsters must meet such interesting people, is what
mhm,
I kind of had in my head. Sam, even though he's been knocked out, has figured it out.
mhm.
He's figured out what this is. They're ghouls.
Yes.
And he accuses them of being ghouls. To which she replies, I've always found that term racist, which always funny when the monsters and the demons have some sort of pithy, like, why would it's
Yeah, it's
something
like
like the humans are racist for
right.
calling them,
Yeah.
the monsters that they are. So I looked up ghouls
Mhm.
because it's been a while since we've gotten to like research a
Yeah,
monster.
I know.
Did you look up any stuff?
I know the supernatural twist on them, so go ahead.
Okay. So sans the twist. Um, a ghoul is an evil spirit or phantom, and especially one supposed to have robbed graves and feed on dead bodies. Or, if you look at the modern definition of a ghoul, it's somebody who is morbidly interested in death or disaster. But it actually does come from a pre-Islam religion. Nope, I said that
Mm.
wrong. No, I said it right. Pre-Islamic religion, because the word ghoul actually means to seize, like to grab.
Mm. Mhm.
And so the notion of a ghoul is like long before supernatural. I mean,
Yes.
long before like Halloween became a thing. I always thought ghosts and ghouls and goblins, I thought ghouls were just like ghosts. I just
Right.
thought it was just another word for ghosts. I
Right.
knew goblins were like, meh, meh. But for some reason, ghouls I just thought were other ghosts. But no, they are literal phantoms that they have a definition of robbing graves and eating the corpses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They're kind of zombie-like, they're kind of scavenger-like. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I did read that they sometimes in some folklore they do take on the form of a person or an
Mm,
animal, like they can take on forms of different things.
yes.
The supernatural twist here is that they take on the form of the last person that they ate
Yep.
and their memories and thoughts.
Yes. And
So,
also down the road, there's one more thing, which I won't spoil right now. Hold on.
right.
Find
Okay.
where we were.
So, in they reveal this in the monologue, this dual monologue that Adam and the
Oh,
mom
God.
do. Yeah, I know. They're
Love a
doing, and they are
dialogue.
doing this while they're slowly cutting up Sam. So,
Yeah. And
to me,
bleeding
it kind of
him.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's purposely like we're doing this slowly and painfully to,
Yep.
for a reason. So, the grave robber from 1990 was their father.
Was actually their father. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, 20 years later, after they've, been raising themselves as brother and sister and
Yep.
scavenging, like rats in cemeteries, they decided to move up to fresh meat.
And why not start with
The revenge
the
kills.
the monster who killed their father? Which now
Yes.
they've turned the tables and John is actually a monster. How dare
Yes.
he?
Yes.
Yes, because they weren't doing anything wrong. They were just eating dead bodies.
Which, you know what? Fair.
Right? Exactly. So, yeah, but again, in the hunter's, handbook,
Yeah.
monster is a monster.
And I guess they did eventually move up to killing live people, so
Yes, but only because hunters interfered
yeah,
with
that's true.
kind of a self-fulfilling
Which came first,
prophecy
the
there.
chicken or the egg?
Right. Thanks, John. Thank your father, kids.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it turns out that they've decided to seek revenge on the humans that killed their dad, and that would be the cop slash bartender, John Winchester. And I guess I'm not sure where the the mom came into it other than for the
I think the
pain.
exact words were like his slut and his son. So like everybody's involved with John
Gotcha.
Winchester. Like anybody who
Wow.
was involved in that whole thing.
You know, for someone who didn't take notes, you sure got some good stuff in there.
So John's already dead, so I guess the sons will have to suffice.
Yep. And I guess maybe killing, well, I don't know which order they killed the mom and the son. I was just going to say maybe they killed the mom so that the son suffered and then they killed him.
Probably.
But in the meantime, back in the crypt, Dean is desperately now trying to break out, and he notices like a stained glass window in the ceiling, and is able to rip apart the casket that
I feel like he put like this whole thing together. I don't know for sure, but to me it looked like he somehow got the casket up on like cinder blocks, like made like a ladder essentially, and then broke off the arm thing.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, to the casket.
Yeah, like the pallbearer handles. Yeah.
Yes.
And
maybe not. I feel like that would be too heavy for one person.
Coffins are heavy even when they're empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
so
FYI.
maybe not. But anyway, he breaks off this thing. It's pretty ingenious, his little escape route here. He breaks it off finally.
Smashes out the glass in the ceiling.
Breaks the window and then uses that as a pull-up bar.
That was pretty
to pull him up.
Yeah. I was like,
Dean.
oh, note to self.
Yes.
And also start doing chin-ups.
Yes. I cannot do a pull-up, so
learn to do pull-ups.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's actually quite athletic and is able to like shoot out the ceiling using the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the ghouls have gone to town on Sam.
And they're drinking Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, they sliced open his veins, so he's bleeding out that way, A. B, they've told him, it's like, no, we're going to eat you slowly so you can feel it.
Yeah.
So like we did with the other two. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sticking fingers in his wounds and like licking off the blood.
They're kind of like reverse doing what he was, doing to Ruby, except she was enjoying it.
Yeah.
But Adam, like while they're doing this, while they're still monologuing and dialoguing, confirms that, oh yeah, by the way, Adam actually was your brother.
Your brother. It's real. So it's canon.
Yep. Not a trick. Luckily, Dean shows up.
Yeah. To the rescue again.
Shoots Adam full in the chest, just blam, which is great because Adam's already dead. Sam yells, "They're ghouls," which is a signal for Dean to then
like change his tactic. Yeah.
Yep. Shoot them in the head. And so he blows off the mom's head, just and a beautiful supernatural splatter of gore on the walls. And then what's left standing is a headless corpse that's still shocked that it's been shot in the head.
Yeah.
And then it falls down. And Dean explains, of course, a ghoul means only a headshot will kill them, which is also a supernatural addition to the ghoul to the ghoul lore. But in the meantime, Adam has recovered from his gunshot wound because he wasn't shot in the head and attacks Dean. Yeah. And is now beating up Dean. Now we see Dean's anger.
Yeah.
Is now back. And he basically beats Adam to death.
Oh, bludgeons his head.
Yes.
With, I don't know, something, piece of furniture, maybe?
Yeah. It's funny because at the end, he like throws it and we never see what it actually is, or I couldn't see. But I mean,
he gets
and it's not just like
several head blows to
and it's not just like wham wham. It's just, and you just see his face. He is so intent on just crushing his brains in.
Yeah.
In the meantime, what I thought was interesting is there's a shot that goes across Adam's body, across the bowl of blood that is capturing Sam's blood to the body of the mother, and she twitches.
Yeah, her hand like twitches a little bit.
I was like,
it's a nice touch.
Yeah, Dean full on just beats this thing to death, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal.
Yep. Goes to save Sam, covers up his veins. Sam says thank you, and
and
That's
sits
sad.
up. And I'm like, you lost a lot of blood there, mister.
Yeah.
I gave blood once without eating. I thought if I ate like half a power bar, that would give me enough stamina, I guess,
Yeah.
for giving blood, which is no. And I was fine until they sat me down at the table to like give me juice and cookies afterwards. Boom, I passed right out. Everything just went whoop. The last thing I saw was the nurse going, "Oh, wait."
Yep.
As I just
Dude, I don't even, it's not even giving blood. It's like going in for a blood test. Like if they're taking your blood for, blood work.
Uh-huh.
I turn white and I get the same look from the nurses being like, "Oh, you need to sit down. What can I get you?" I don't even remember
okay
the
with
last
that.
time I can't do
Yeah.
it.
I just can't
Such a
watch
wimp.
them do it. I can't watch them. I can do it, but I can't watch them do it. But yeah, so if I like passed out with just like, a pint of blood, Sam was on that table dripping into it anyway. I just thought that was
He's a
funny.
big,
He just sits him
strong
up and he's
man.
like, put pressure on the wound. I was like,
yeah, pat.
pressure on the wound. Yeah, pat, I'll be right back. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh well, yeah, see the Winchester.
Yeah. So we cut to later that night. They have done the preparation to give Adam a hunter's funeral because he was their brother and he died like a hunter. So he deserves to be put to rest like one.
Although we don't know how he really died, but yes.
Well, he died with a ghoul attacked. He died by a monster's hands. I think that's what he meant by that.
What he meant. Okay.
Was he died in the hunter's world. So
okay, so he deserves. Why didn't they do the mom that way too? Okay, so they
are related to the mom.
Yes, and they set his body ablaze.
Yes.
And by the glow of the burning corpse, they have a brother's discussion, a Winchester's discussion, where Sam says, maybe we should ask Cass to bring him back. Give him another chance. And Dean tells the lie that we've been told is a lie, which is he's in a better place.
I thought about this. I wonder if he's not lying or if he doesn't feel like he's lying. If he's just like, you know what? I'm having such a hard time here. Like anywhere is better than dealing with these fucking angels and Alistair and the apocalypse. Like as long as he's not going to hell, which doubtful that he is,
right,
then he is in a better place because anywhere is better than here.
Yeah, and plus where's the old when it comes back broken. It's like, where is that? I guess if an angel brings you back, it's not done with black magic, it's done with white angel magic, I guess. But interesting phraseology.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So they decide to leave Adam dead. Dean reveals, or not reveals, but admits to Sam that Sam and John, you guys aren't as different as you seem to think. You guys didn't always fight because you were different. You would fight because you were more alike than you knew.
Yeah.
Revelation. And he's like, I always looked up to, I worshipped Dad. I listened to his music. I wore his clothes. I drive his car. I did everything that he told me to do. I worshipped him. And, what did that get me?
Yeah.
And Sam is like, oh, well, I'll,
thanks.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. And Dean,
I don't think Dean was giving it as a compliment.
Yeah. And he's like, take it however you want.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, because that was harsh. I think it's like, was he mad at Sam? Was he mad at John?
I don't think Dean really knows what to feel right now. I think he just learned that his dad had a secret life.
Yeah.
With a whole nother family. Like,
right. That's
even though he wasn't
dead.
Even though he wasn't married to
but he had
Mom,
a
I'm
son.
sure it kind of feels like maybe he was cheating on Mom, but also he didn't tell his kids about this extra brother, about this woman that he he did. He led a normal life with those people. And he took
A
that
life
kid
that he didn't
on
give them.
in baseball games.
Yep.
They did not get to go to baseball games. There's nothing to say that they could have just also gone to baseball games. Like, they could have hunted, but then also, went to a baseball game every now and then.
Right. But because he was
especially
never
as
there.
a kid.
Yeah.
Right. He was never there.
He left them in motel rooms, and went hunting. Left them to fend for themselves and to take care of each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I understand, like, I don't blame Dean in that moment.
Right.
But I wonder, like, was Sam just not catching the vibe? It's like read the room type of thing. Did Sam just not read the room? Or
I think Sam has not been reading the room for a while.
Right. Especially since this entire episode, he went against what Dean said, like, the entire episode.
Yeah, he was the good little soldier, like, this whole time.
Yep.
It was weird. It was weird to watch. It was weird to watch Sam be that way.
Yeah.
It was very much like, and I forget the episode, where the one with the trickster, where he made him think that Dean was dead. And then it was like several months went by and he just like turned into a robot. He wasn't quite robotic like that, but close.
Right. Oh, he was like almost soulless.
Yeah.
Interesting. I loved this episode.
Yeah.
I loved it. It hurt me at the end. I was like, ow, oh God, Dean, that's hard. I was like, did he have to say it out loud? You know what I mean? It was one of those moments where, did he mean to say it out loud? Did he mean it as a to Sam? Or did it just come out? Like,
yeah, who knows?
You want to be like John, John,
the one who had a secret family and didn't tell us anything. And
exactly. Yeah. So I feel like Sam's like a little bit in the John Kool-Aid right now. And I don't know why.
I don't either.
I don't know what has changed in Sam's head that John is now suddenly the paragon, like the good dad. I mean, I know that, he came back from, he got rid of, he helped get rid of not Alistair, Yellow Eyes. Which was a beautiful moment, but it's like, okay, does that erase who John was to them growing up? Or maybe,
I mean, I don't know. If I learned my dad had a secret family, I would feel a lot different.
I wonder if this was Dean, like, discovering out loud, like thinking out loud.
Yeah.
That, and now Dean's idea of dad has changed in these moments of, dad had another family and look what happened to them as well. It's, they're dead because of John. This kid had a life, this woman had a son, and they're both dead because of dad. Another family fucked,
Right, because, like, how many people has he met now that's just like, fuck John Winchester, he ruined my life.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't he responsible for what's her butt's dad's death? Mm-hmm. Yes. So anyway, so maybe it's all just starting to, like, click for Dean, that he's fallen off the bandwagon.
It's like, oh, maybe he wasn't such a hero, as much of a hero as I thought.
Yeah, and that's crushing. I mean, that's like, when you're a teenager and you start to, like, you hate your parents because you start to see that they're human and they have flaws. And, they fall off that pedestal that kids, hold their parents on. And you're like, oh, they're just jerks like the rest of us.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next is the Rapture. And then we only have 3 more episodes left of this season, including this next one, which is crazy.
It's crazy, but I can't say that it's flown by because it hasn't.
No, it hasn't. But also it's like, oh, we're here already. It's both at the same time. It's like, man, this has been forever since we've been on season 4, but also like, oh, it's coming.
Oh, yeah. I had forgotten about this episode, not Rapture, but I had forgotten about. I knew the character, like I knew Adam and I knew what the
Yeah.
twist was with Adam as far as the family member goes. I didn't remember the monster twist.
Oh, I did.
I remember the monster twist. But I was like, oh, this is, but my question is what I know later, there's a gap in my memory
Uh-huh.
for what happens next. Or
Right.
what happens down the line. I'm
Yeah.
like, how does that come about?
Right. Yeah.
So
I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
curious to like watch this next episode so I can be like, oh, okay.
Right.
That's
Uh-huh.
how we get from here to there, but no spoilers.
Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe or follow us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Please also give us a rating if that platform allows one. It would be a huge help. You can also share us around to other Supernatural fans. We are on social, pretty much all of the ones that exist. We are at Salt and Burn This everywhere. We are also on YouTube. Everything is now up. Our whole
Yes.
catalog is now up.
Yay. So if you ever just want
Hooray.
to, if it's easier for you to find them on YouTube, jump on over to YouTube. It's
Yes.
catalog. It's set up by season. We also have a huge folder of shorts. So just enjoy.
Yeah. Have fun.
Enjoy us. Yeah.
If you're a YouTube junkie like I am, go for it. We would love to have you there.
It's getting worse for me. I am so addicted. Yes.
I know.
Oh
Ha,
no.
ha, 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 ha. Join us. All right, that's enough now. We'll see you next time for the rapture. Bye.
Bye.